The 899th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Heidi ho, Degenerinos. Welcome up to 899 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Yes, we're back, baby. You can't miss us if we don't go away. So we actually went away for a few days. Not really our choice, the MMA world's choice, but we are back, as you can see. Obviously, let's dedicate this episode to my bouncing baby boy who turned 15 yesterday. So yeah, my youngest is 15 now somehow. Who am I? I am the bus driver, Jeff Fox. New nickname. Thank you, Venezi. Who, as Gummy was saying off air, he's like the captain of our Discord. So thank you for keeping the Discord popping, and thank you for the new nickname. It's another regional fighter that we found on Tapology's nickname, the bus driver. So that's my name now. If you want to get in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. I see some people asked in Spotify. I think the bosses must have been checking because they answered the person because I forgot to check our Spotify comments. So thank you everyone who is checking us out on Spotify as well. Our friend DCF is happy I'm not whining anymore. So apparently I must have changed. So yeah, I'm the whiny Canadian liberal previously. Now I'm the bus driver. The man to my left on your screen, because people do watch us on their screens, which is pretty crazy. It's Daniel Gumby Vreeland. Did you miss me, Gumby?
It was weird. When I finished up my Sunday, and usually we're like trying to figure out what time, my wife actually looked at me and she goes, "What time are you recording?" And I said, "I'm not. Do you want to go out to eat?" And it was pretty special. I went out to eat with my wife instead of hanging out with you.
Wow. Well, that's good. Hopefully you enjoyed that, but you enjoyed the podcast even more. Before, as you can see, if you're reading this and or watching it, we're doing CFFC. Good promotion. You've been to CFFC events live, right, Gumby?
I've never been to a CFFC.
Oh, no? Okay.
They're somewhat close, but like far enough away that's like kind of inconvenient. Like they're like Philly, New Jersey. We're talking like 6-7 hours in a car. Not really far enough to get on a plane. So it's just barely, like it's like almost easier to do something that's way far away and feel good about it. So it's a weird in between, but it's a promotion I love to watch. They always put on bangers. So CFFC,
good event this week as well.
Good event this week.
Yeah, definitely very good. Some housekeeping. I beat Gumby again with the UFC. Haha.
But like barely though, right?
9-5. You went 7-7. I made $10 if I bet $100 in every fight, which I did, obviously. But on the year, Gumby is still ahead. I am at 64.
What's the range? How much am I up by?
Okay, you based on $100 in every fight, just in case people are new here. We don't want you to think we suck at betting.
Yeah, and don't actually do this. By the way.
Don't actually do this.
And that's just the money line too. That's not $100 on every fight. This is a fake $100 on every money line with no chance to pass. Okay, so
Gumby is up. You're up $1.19 now. I'm down $6.46. So you still have a comfortable lead.
Oh, I'm comfy still.
Yeah. I gained 26 on you 2 weeks ago, and then I gained like 320 last week. So I'm getting closer. I'm creeping up. So anyhow,
there's still time.
It was still time. That was UFC Shanghai and the couple road to UFC main card UFC fights. How'd you do on the road to UFC? We'll talk Contender Series tomorrow. How'd you do on the road to UFC picks?
We started all right. We hit a couple of huge underdogs at the gate, and then we had just few too many underdogs and fell apart a little bit at the end. But obviously the big ones. Dalmar Fan somehow wound up an underdog against Street Buddha.
He did?
Yeah, he was plus 120.
He was underdog? He didn't open that way though, did he?
He opened negative 120. He closed plus 120.
Wow.
So the dude was an underdog again after all of that, which by the way, if you check out this week's Top Turtle MMA podcast, we chat about it again. Me and Street Buddha linked back up. It was funny. After he won, he actually just sent me a DM and being like, I hope you and all your Discord buddies cleaned up again.
And he commented on one of our YouTube videos too. If you noticed that. Yeah,
good dude. So Street Buddha was a big one. I also had Kit Campbell as an underdog, so that was nice as well. And then just like a couple fell apart at the end. So that one wound up being our worst regional thing of the weekend because we did all right on Contender Series. It was kind of chalky. It was 3-2.
Yeah.
And we absolutely cleaned up in LFA where we swept the board. Didn't miss a single LFA fight.
Oh, nice.
Really nice odds in there too. So yeah, ultimately, we're back up to being, I believe it was 32.7 units. We're up on non-UFC MMA too.
Nice.
And again, that's still it's still as dumb as it sounds. That's $100 on every money line with no chance to pass. So yep, that's still great.
And that's why people love Gumby. So hopefully we will, well, not hopefully, we're going to do the same with CFFC 145. Let's dive into it after I tell you a couple things here. Football is back, and so is our amazing merch sale. 25% off everything in the merch store. promo code is football, the American spelling, FOOT ball. Make sure to check out all of the SGPN merch, especially the MMA Gambling Podcast merch, which I talk about pretty much every episode. Every time there's a multi-regional champ on it. So check out the store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. And football is your code, 25% off. Also, SGPN, that's us, SGPN, just launched their NFL Survivor Contest, $100 entry, winner take all. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. Plus, if you're new to Splash Sports, promo code FINALS for a $10 credit when you do sign up there. All right. Housekeeping out of the way, let's dive into CFFC 145. Lewis versus Orozco. Not just the Orozco, the old reliever for the New York Mets. It's a different guy, different spelling. Saturday, 6 p.m. start time. UFC Fight Pass. They are not afraid to run on Labor Day weekend, right? Every other promotion, they're not running, but no, CFFC is running. So they will have our undivided attention here. Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey, 12 fights. We're going to break down the choicest or the juiciest, the 5 fights that Gumby wants to break down. And then we'll have plenty of choices for the old lightning round. Anything to say about the card before we dive in?
No, it's the only thing I would say is the main event fell apart for us a little bit. We originally were supposed to have a Kyle Dawkins title defense was the main event of this one, and he notably went to UFC Shanghai and just went ahead and somehow knocked out Michelle Beheda,
so bad.
And violently too, I might add. And the funny thing was, is I went on there and talked about how he couldn't strike. That was all time.
Yeah, well, he can't.
Not typically, but maybe now he can. But anyway, it does take a little bit of the zest out of this card because Kyle Dawkins, as good as CFFC had for a while there.
Yep. Even if you're a casual regional MMA fan and or a fan of the show, you're going to recognize a lot of the names we're going to talk about today, regardless. Maybe even in the first bout here, it is the top prelim fight on the card. It is a featherweight bout. Justin Patton, Frank Wells, a couple of Americans going at it. I have odds for all the other fights except this one. This one, the odds for some reason, books have not posted it yet. So maybe they want to see what side Gumby falls on. So we'll tell you about Wells first. Chopper Wells is 6-4 with 2 knockouts. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. He's 6-4 in the CFFC. So all of his fights have taken place here. He's been 3 of 4, 3 of 6. He did win his last bout. He used to fight at 155. He went 0-1 as a pro grappler. He's an inch taller than Patton. Patton is the general Patton. I get it. 8-4 with 1 no contest, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been submitted 3 times himself. This is his CFFC debut. 4-1 with 1 no contest over his last 6. He did lose his last bout. He's fought down at bantamweight and up at 150 pounds. So Gumby will give you a pick. Gumby will give you a guess at the odds.
So, I don't have the odds for any of these. I haven't looked them up yet. Yeah. So, I'm going to see how I do on this one. And some people really like when I have to guess and they get immediate feedback. For this one, I'm going to say kind of a pick 'em. Frank Wells has kind of got some name value behind him being in CFFC as long as he has, but the record's real ugly. And as a result, I think that might pull people towards Patton a little bit too. So I'm going to say a pick 'em here. And for me, I'm going to go with Frank Wells. First of all, I like Frank Wells and how gritty he can be in fights. He doesn't necessarily think takedown first all the time, but he does work really well against the cage. He does push people forward. He's maybe not as fast as he could be on the feet, and his takedown defense is a lot worse than his takedown offense. In fact, it's pretty much what's cost him his 4 fights. And his 4 losses, I have to say, are wicked high level. He has lost to some really tough guys. He lost to David McGowan, who's going to be fighting on Contender Series this upcoming Tuesday. He lost to Chris Vassell, I want to say, Jose Perez, and there's one more somewhat good one too. So he's lost to tippity top level featherweights. in this particular region on the regional scene. So like while the record looks pretty bad, he's put in like really good fights against some really high level competition. And really for me, I think the reason I like him against somebody like Patton is Patton does seem to seemingly just want to brawl a little bit too much for his own good. It's cost him in times, not necessarily on the striking side of things, but like against somebody who can be a grinder. Like if he wants to stay out of that and throw from range, which is what I think Patton wants to do, it's hard to do that when you kind of get overzealous and wind up in more clinches. And I think Wells can win this fight in the clinch and stuff like that. So give me Frank Wells. And again, I think it's probably a pick.
42% for Wells. So yeah, right around pick and range.
And that you're saying that's from Tapology, correct?
Tapology, yep.
Yeah, and Tapology is going to lean more on records perhaps than like the name value that like books probably will represent, or the casual bettors will. So like I think you're going to see that pretty close to even.
A lot of Wells's losses were front loaded early in his career too. So like
and again, tough people. The other one is Timothy Kamba, is it not? I think it's Timothy Kamba.
That's the other one he lost to.
Yeah, okay. Vasil, Kamba, Perez, and Magoyan. Yeah, which is like that's a sick run of opponents for any regional guy.
Oh yeah. Yep, definitely. All right, before we get you some more winners and see how good Gumby is at guessing the odds, let me tell you about mybookie.ag. Speaking of odds, we are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else, as if anything else even matters. Your home for NFL and college football. MyBookie's $100,000 NFL Super Contest is on. Only a $15 entry, and they're offering buy 2 entries, get 1 free. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out. They will have CFFC lines up shortly. They're not up now, but I've seen they basically cover all the events, all the regional events that we cover on this here podcast. So head to mybookie.ag, use promo code MMASGPN. That way you get 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. And Rhythm, that would be RITH. NFL is back on Rhythm. Last season, Rhythm was 76-66 against the spread and 22-19 on over-unders. But they really shine on player props. For example, they went 15-8 on Josh Allen passing props, which is a 23% return on investment. Rhythm also has an MLB, WNBA, golf, and college football. Go to the site today and start building your NFL models for week 1. Gumby, got any plays for the people?
For week 1?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to take the higher. Yeah. Like, I mean, the higher than on Dak Prescott's passing yards. They're going to be down early in that game. They're going to be down often in that game, and they have no running backs. So higher than on Dak Prescott's passing yards.
Go to Rhythm and see if they agree with Gumby. I'm going to see. I've been asking Gumby for week 1 picks for a while now, so I'm expecting them eventually to run out, but we'll see. All right. Head to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM, and then you get to try it out for free for 7 days, and you can check out those Cowboys related plays that Gumby always gives out. So it's Rhythm, RITHMM. All right, moving on up the old fight card in Atlantic City. We are going main card fight, 170 pounds. Busurman, Zhumagul. He is from the place where all people with names like that are from, right? He is from Kyrgyzstan, right? He is up against Joshua Sierra. He's from the United States. As I said, they're fighting at welterweight. I have odds. Gumby does not. Zhumagul is 3-0, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. So he holds us rounds. All those fights have taken place in CFFC. You got a draw in one pro grappling fight that we have a result for. 8 years younger than Sierra, 5 inches taller. Sierra is 2-1 with 2 knockouts. He's been knocked out once. He owes us odds. He owes us rounds as well. So a couple of inexperienced guys here. 0-1 in CFFC. He has won 2 straight fights, though. He went 1-0 as a pro kickboxer, 1-0 as a pro grappler. All right, Gumby.
Is Zhumagul like negative 550?
He's negative, but not 550.
Is it worse?
It's worse. 1,000, 2,000.
I mean, it's probably.
We only have one book. Only one book has it posted, so it could hopefully go down.
I don't know that it will.
No.
I might go in the other direction, to be honest with you, and like it should. Like negative 2,000 is probably not high enough for this fight. Zhumagul is first of all, he's nasty on the feet. Despite like you see the name and you're like, oh, Kyrgyzstani guy probably takedown artist. No. He's a striker, and he's a tall, lanky striker. So you mentioned he's got 5 inches of height over Sierra. My guess is somewhere around 9 inches of reach.
Yeah, we don't have those stats, but yeah, he's a 6'4" welterweight against a 5'11" welterweight.
Yeah, and Sierra has shorter reach than his height. He's 5'11", but he's got like I want to say 5'9" reach. Whereas Zhumagul, like, I don't have his reach data, but my guess would be 2 or 3 inches taller than his height, based on just like he is lanky looking, and he does all the things you kind of want a lanky fighter to do. He throws the push kicks, knees in the clinch are big for him. Big elbows guy. Zhumagul does all of those things. And like, I know you said Josh Sierra is won his last 2 fights. He has.
Yep.
He Homer Simpson dashed his last one. He got the ever living snot kicked out of him for like 3 minutes. Just took the beating and then just basically like walked forward and was like, I'm feeling better than you are right now, threw one punch and the guy fell down. And it was like, it was an awful showing. The promotion that he did it for, I can't remember what it was. It was some like smaller promotion. They posted like the greatest comeback in history, and it's like a 3-minute video. Like the title was the greatest comeback in history. It's a 3.5-minute video or something like that. And I was like, how is that possible? But then I watched it and they might be right, but I don't know that it's due to skill. And I think if he decides to go in there and try to just eat elbows and eat knees and eat whatever else Zhumagul is going to throw at him, I just can't imagine he survives any of it. So, give me Busurman, Zhumagul, even at -2,000.
Alrighty. Going down to flyweights now. Ben Coyle, Oscar Juardo Sánchez. They're both Americans. Tell you about Sánchez. He is the Shank. 4-2 with 3 knockouts. He's been knocked out once. Lost win over his past 4. He won his last fight via TKO. He's a regional champ. He's 2 inches taller than Coyle. Coyle is 6-4, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. You owe us round, sir. 3-2 in CFFC. He has won 4 straight and 5 of 6. So he really front-ended all of his losses here. Is not lost since July 2023. All right, Gumby, who's going to win? What are the odds?
So I'm going to guess Ben Coyle is the favorite. If I had to guess, like -250.
No, sadly, he's -700. Well, sad if you're picking him.
700. I am still picking him, but like 700. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to pick him to win because I'm not going to go against the way I originally handicapped the fight. But like, that's maybe a little steep. Ben Coyle, the reason I knew he was going to be a favorite, although not nearly as high as I thought, he was like one of the most heavily touted prospects when he was an amateur. He fought for Cowboy Cerrone's promotion, which was like doing the best job at rounding up like high quality amateurs before it folded 5 events in, mostly thanks to COVID, right? Like nobody's going to fight on an all amateur card in the middle of all of that. So it folded back then. He wound up turning pro shortly after, and they gave him Fumi Nakuta in his first fight, which is an insane opening fight. And then he like got a couple of other tough opponents and took kind of like some tough losses. And I think people wrote him off for a while. And like, obviously he's gotten back on track since then. The thing I like about him, really fast on the feet, quick 1-2, and it like plays really well against Sánchez, who's like kind of an upright kickboxer who is like maybe not as fast as he's not fast for a guy who's a 4-2 flyweight, right? Like he's fast. I'm not going to take that away from him, but he's a 4-2 flyweight. So you would assume he's like, okay, he's going to need some real speed. And like for that style, he's slow. And in general, I've seen him have trouble with takedowns. Coyle hasn't used very much in his pro career. I think he got away from it a little bit, but if you go back and you watch his amateur fights, like it's clear there's some wrestling in there too. I think he could use that here. But ultimately, like, I just think he's way faster on the feet. I think the damage is going to come early and often for Coyle. And as much as I don't love that you just told me this was -700, I'm still going to take Ben Coyle.
Knockout prop perhaps for Coyle?
Yeah, I mean, like,
props for CFFC usually.
If you got props, like I think that's probably the move. I think Sánchez is probably gonna, wear him down. I could see some ground and pound finishes here or something like that. But yeah, I mean, like, you can't usually get him on all the regionals. But if you could, and that's how you want to spice it up. I mean, both like him and Zhumagul by KO, maybe roll him into a parlay and get something close to even money.
Yep. Desperate times. But hey, this is the only MMA pretty much you have this week in a bet on.
That's right.
Make it work. Co-main event is middleweight. Nick Galanti, Ty Gwerder. They are both American. Let's break her down without giving away the odds. I've done good so far. I haven't given away any of the odds.
Look at you. You've improved.
I'm zeroed in today. Galanti, we'll tell you about first. 4-1 with 3 submissions. He's never been finished himself. All those fights are taking place in CFFC. So we've got a lot of lifers on this year card. He's won 2 straight, both via submission. Used to fight up at 200 pounds. 1-0-1 as a pro grappler. 4 years younger than Gwerder. Gwerder is savage. Dana White must have gave him that nickname. He's 7-5 with 6 knockouts. Striker versus grappler. He's been knocked out once. This is his debut. He's won 2 of 3 and 2 of 6. He did lose his last belt, though. That was back in July of 2024. He's not won since August 2023. He went 1-3 in Bellator, RIP Bellator. Used to fight at 170.
This one's tricky for me because now I'm being swayed by the fact that all of these lines were way wider than I thought. And I'm like, should I do what I think it is, or should I triple that number, which is
what do you think it is?
What do you think? What I wrote down when I was handicapping this is -375 on Galante.
No, right. You're right there. -400.
Perfect.
There you go.
I'm gonna go Gwerder.
Plus 300 for you. Nice.
All right, yeah, and that's right. I think I wrote 325 originally.
Okay.
So like that's right around
around.
Yeah, that's right around what I thought for Gwerder. And for me, the reason why I like Gwerder here is just like Galanti is a guy who has won both of his last fights by guillotine, and he just loves to jump the guillotine. And like not even necessarily in a bad way. Like he has high level jiu-jitsu and he uses it in a mostly smart way, and he's gotten those guillotines, so it can't be wrong if he's getting it right. However, Gwerder has been in there with some really tough opponents. Like Gwerder is not, he's not a guy who is just like survived the regional scene and has this spotty record. He's been in Bellator. Who did he fight last? He fought Adam. Was it Adam Vigil he fought last?
I will check for you. We're talking about Gwerder, right? Yes.
Yep.
Gwerder. All right. He fought. Yes. Adam Vigil, is that who you?
Yeah, I think it's Vigil is how you say it. But
that's who he lost to last in Fury.
And that's the guy. That's the guy who just went and took the Tough Enough belt off of Alex Polizzi. The PFL's Alex Polizzi. So like in Gwerder went 5 hard rounds with him. He went a full fight with him, and a lot of the times in that fight, Gwerder was landing 1-2 combinations and like hurting Vigil, and like he had quality grappling exchanges in there where he wound up on top. And so like I think he needs to avoid the grappling scenarios here with Galanti. I think he needs to make sure that like he doesn't shoot a takedown and wind up in a guillotine, because like ultimately that's how Galanti is winning. But if he keeps it on the feet, Galanti looks kind of disinterested in throwing strikes. Like he's got a little bit of a double leg himself, but he like largely waits for people to grapple him and then beats them that way. And I really think Gwerder could just hurt him on the feet. So especially at a plus 300 line, give me Gwerder.
Yeah, Gwerder's got a very, very good resume here. He went the distance with Dalton Rasta, which is very impressive. Beat Tuka Tokos. So, there's some names on that.
He knocked out Tuka Tokos, if I'm remembering right.
He did. Left hook and a knee. Yep. Yeah, there you go. Impressive, right?
Yeah.
So let's go. Big dog. Let's go with the big dog here. All right, before we get to our main event and lightning round picks, so you're not going anywhere. Let me tell you about underdogs. Hey, good timing. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long. They are giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog is also a great place to play Pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Gumby always has a winning play for you, right?
Yeah, if you get this before the nighttime baseball games on Sunday, get in on Colson Montgomery's total bases. For some reason, they got him listed at 0.5. One of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard, because he's had a home run in 4 straight games going into tonight. An absolute beast right now. Give me the higher than Colson Montgomery's total bases.
That's a made-up person, but okay. We'll go with it. Colson Montgomery. Listen to this. This isn't made up. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code MMASGPN. MMASGPN. And Circa Million Circa Survivor, the world's greatest sportsbook, which of course is Circa Las Vegas, is hosting the world's biggest pro football contest. That would be Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo with over $21 million. That's $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. Contest closes on all contests. The 3 of them close on Saturday, the 6th of September. So get in now. All right. Main event. time. Richie Lewis, Benny Orozco, they're fighting 3 5-minute rounds at 155. They're both American. I'm going to tell you about Orozco first. 5-1 with 1 no contest, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out once. He owes his rounds. 3-0 over his last 3, obviously. Submission win in his last bout. Used to fight at 170. 2 years younger than Lewis. And that's all. I almost said the odds, but I didn't. Savage. We got another Savage, Gumby. He should be fighting Gwerder. Savage Lewis. 6-1 with 2 knockouts. He's been knocked out once. You should knock out everyone if you're a Savage, basically. This is his debut. TKO loss in his last bout. He was the LFA champion until that very last bout that you lost his belt on. He's also a regional champion. 2-0 as a pro grappler. 2 inches taller than Orozco. 3-inch reach advantage over him.
I got to imagine being the LFA champ, we're talking like 350 on Lewis, right? Negative 350. Worse than that? Negative 600?
Worse than that. 650.
Wow. I should have doubled it.
Shop around, ladies and gentlemen.
Negative 325. It went to 650.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, the wide odds on this one are killing me. But I do think Richie Lewis is the right side. I know he's coming off that loss to Richie Miranda, but then Richie Miranda then also went and just beat up Ile Barzilay, who is an undefeated prospect. Like, Richie Miranda is slowly showing us that he's like the guy right now that the UFC should be interested at lightweight. And really for me, Richie Lewis, it's all about the grappling. His wrestling is just so damn good. I believe he was a U.S. World Team member, or maybe he tried out, or like he was like a high level wrestler.
He was a collegiate wrestler, and I think he lists himself as a world champion wrestling, but I couldn't find any actual championships. Okay. But he fought at a high level. Yeah,
he's a super high level wrestler, and like
right.
It's translated to MMA too. Like, a lot of times we'll say that and we'll be like, well, can he do it in an MMA cage and make it work? Right. He can. He's learned to blend it really well. He went in there and beat Keegan Genrich, who is a guy who I'm really high on. I think is a really good regional prospect, and he did so with his wrestling. And I went back and I watched Benny Orozco. I went back and watched some of his wins, which, impressive, but basically for me, it's his jiu-jitsu is good and his wrestling's kind of questionable to me. He is pretty much the opposite of Richie Lewis, where I'm applauding Richie Lewis for learning how to blend his wrestling and his striking and putting it all together. Orozco is like, his wrestling just seems completely separate from everything else he's doing. So he's striking, and then it's clear he has to flip a switch and then start wrestling. And when he does, if you go back to the loss he had, which by the way is against Anthony Orozco, that was a Cage Warriors card that was deemed Cage Warriors, whatever number, Orozco versus Orozco, which I kind of enjoyed. But Anthony Orozco,
we got one of those. Sorry to interrupt. We got one of those coming up in LFA soon.
Yeah.
Pereira versus Pereira fight.
Next week we got Pajeda versus Pajeda. In that fight, Orozco was shooting takedowns just from really far away and having a lot of trouble, and it wound up costing him in so many situations. He wound up tiring himself out, getting popped on the feet. And I think even if he were to have good shots here, Richie Lewis is the better wrestler. So, I get why this is. Richie Lewis, again, better on the feet, should be able to dictate where it goes. Do I love negative 650? No, I never. Whoever loves negative 650? No. Not me. So, but Richie Lewis is my pick here.
All right. Hopefully no one pays attention to you, Gumby, and they steam the other side of the lines for all these fights. And then we'll, other than the Gwerder one, and then we'll be cooking. All right. I'll give you a recap of the main 5 fights here that he picked. And then you stick around, ladies and gents. He has some more plays for you. He's got Lewis. He's got Gwerder as a big dog. Hopefully we can get it even bigger. He's got Coyle. He has got Zhumagul. He has got Wells. And I didn't butcher any name. I guess most of them were Americans, but still. I find a way to butcher most names, and I didn't. So hooray for me. All right, lightning rounds. That bam boom pow, Gumby.
Getting Zhumagul is good. That was impressive.
That's because Zhumagulov.
Yeah, although that's a different country. He's from Kazakhstan, right? And right. Zhumagul is Kyrgyzstan. For my 2 lightning round picks, first one I'm going to take Tyler Berger. We were just talking about the wrestling accolades of Richie Lewis. Tyler Berger was a world team member. He was number 1 in his weight class for Team USA. However, he went to go to the Olympics, or was trying out for the Olympics, and they just didn't have his weight class. They shortened up the amount of weight classes they have in Olympic years. For those of you who don't know, they go from having 12 to 8, which meant he had to go way up in weight, wound up not qualifying. He did go 2-2 in the qualifying tournament, which is definitely it's not nothing. And he's already translated his skills to MMA. He picked up a win in his first fight. I'm really high on his potential, so I'm excited to see what he can do in this next one. And then the other one I like is Reggie Northrup. Reggie Northrup, he's a karate guy. He's shown some real fun striking skills and like a little bit of all aroundness too, despite being, I believe, only 3-0. So Reggie Northrup, one to keep an eye on just in case that stuff keeps rounding out and that karate keeps playing up. So once again, that's Reggie Northrup and Tyler Berger.
All right, you are all set, and we're done. We're back and we're done. We'll be back very soon, tomorrow actually. In the meantime, and in between time, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord is the easiest spot to hit us up, or of course YouTube MMA Gambling Podcast. On Twitter is SGPN MMA. He's at Gummy Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer, on Instagram as well. Check out my Substack, moneymma.substack.com. Check out Gumby's other podcast, Top Turtle MMA. He already let you know that Street Buddha is making a return appearance, right? Is that this week? He's coming up?
Yeah, Street Buddha's back on, talking about his win on Road to the UFC. And then the aforementioned Tyler Berger, who is a prospect I'm really excited about on this CFFC card.
Excellent. And of course, we can be found at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store to get your merch. Remember, football is your code for 25% off. There's some very cool MMA gambling podcast gear in there that you're going to want to check out. And sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get some bonus content. As I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Thoughts on Contender Series before we get out of here? Are you looking forward to week 4, Gumby?
Week 4 is maybe the best week. We went from a bunch of whole weird, lopsided, hastily put together fights in week 3 to straight bangers in week 4. So get excited.
And somebody Gumby used to Big Brother is in the main event. So there you go. We'll talk about that tomorrow. In the meantime, Savage Chef Fox, bids you farewell. Savage Gumby Vreeland, because there are two savages on this fight card. Savage Gumby Vreeland also. We'll see you tomorrow as well. Bye.